Welcome back to Rub and Sauce. Today we've got a great episode. We are going to be showcasing a barbecue sauce that originates out of Chicago. Yes, Chicago, not your typical barbecue city. But it's a sauce that you have likely seen on your grocery store shelves and probably have purchased and or tasted before. Let's show you today's contender.
Get it rub! Hey! Get it sauce! Yeah, we're bringing the heat! Time to find out what it costs! Rub and sauce!
That's right, you guys. Today, we're taking a hard look at Sweet Baby Ray's. Lots of variations of their sauces that you probably see in your grocery store shelves, all right? Including an original. But today, we're gonna give a little taste test with the sweet and spicy sauce. But before we dive into our two styles of taste tests with the spoon and then on some pulled pork today, we are going to look at some research. So according to Business Research Insights, Sweet Baby Ray's controls about 40% of the entire United States barbecue sauce industry. That's a big chunk of the market, all right? Also, about 98% of their distribution rate across all the US. That means they are in pretty much every grocery store. And last but not least, almost 50% of consumers, based on market research, make this their number one go-to store-bought barbecue sauce. So let's dive in to our taste test. So with Sweet Baby Ray's, these smaller 18-ounce bottles, probably you can find them in your grocery store on average for about $3 a bottle. So value-wise, definitely worth the money, potentially, all right? What I always like to do is take a look at the ingredients. So first thing you notice on the back of this bottle, high fructose corn syrup. People have lots of opinions on that, but we'll see what it really breaks down to later. One thing that really stood out to me when I looked at this is that about halfway through the ingredients, natural smoke flavor. That indicates to me some type of liquid smoke. I really don't care for liquid smoke in my barbecue sauce because I am typically putting it on smoked meat. I've already got that smoke flavor cooked into the meat. I don't need it in my sauce. But if I'm gonna put it on some meat that's not been smoked, maybe it won't be too bad, all right? But let's dive a little deeper. We're gonna go ahead and crack the seal on this, all right? Get it opened up. Grab ourselves our little spoon and begin our first taste test. Okay, let's get some of the sauce on our spoon here. It's gonna come out of this bottle a little bit thicker, I believe. And there we go. All right, so we take a deeper look at that sauce. Definitely the texture, a thicker sauce, not a lot of runniness to it, all right? So you don't see any separation as well with that sauce, all right? So let's head on over and give it a taste test. Okay, now we took a look at it, deeper look at it on that spoon straight from the bottle. Let's now see what it tastes like. All right, that sauce, once again, a little bit of a thicker sauce on that spoon. Doesn't really move too much on there. All right, here we go. Well, I can tell you already, it's definitely got the sweet. The label doesn't lie. But that cayenne and other peppers that are in it, it actually hits quickly. Sometimes with a barbecue sauce, the heat kind of slowly rises to the top from the back of that tongue. This one, that cayenne and the pepper, it's immediate when it hits the mouth. So definitely, they're not lying about the spiciness there on that one as well, all right? Because it hits so quickly, I'm not sure about the balance of the taste. I like those flavors to kind of spread out a little bit more, but we'll see what it really means when we get it on the pulled pork, all right? So let's dive into part 2 of our taste test. All right, so now we go into part 2 of our taste test. We want to try these sauces on a meat. So I've got a little bit of smoked pulled pork here. This pulled pork was done on a mix of hickory and applewood on the smoker, very, very lightly seasoned because I knew I was going to use it for some taste testing, all right? So I don't want the seasoning to kind of overpower what we're going to taste in that sauce today. So I'm going to take a little bit of that Sweet Baby Ray's and let's go ahead and get it on top of the pulled pork. Okay, the sauce is on. Let's go right on into the taste test, my friends. I get a good piece of that pulled pork. All right. All right. Well, I like that I didn't put a ton of sauce on it. So with the sauce, texture, great on top of the meat, all right? There's nothing wrong with the texture of it, all right? It's not runny, thicker sauce, so it stays in place. It doesn't overpower the meat, meaning I'm not tasting a lot more sauce than the meat. There's a good balance, but that could change depending if you're the type of person who like pulled pork or pulled beef, whatever it is, pulled chicken, and you like toss it in sauce, then you could over sauce it really easily. But this right here, my friends, actually not too shabby at all. So let's get into our final scoring. Here on Rubbed in Sauce, we're going to judge every barbecue spice rub and every sauce with this scale. 1 being the lowest, that gas station grill, where I just would not buy it again. Probably weak flavor, artificial taste, poor balance, and just very forgettable. Then we'll go to 2 with that backyard barbecue. What's decent as an everyday product, casual for grilling, but nothing memorable. 3 is that tailgate approved. It is going to be a crowd pleasing sauce, just a fun taste, great flavor for parties, game days, and large gatherings. 4 is going smokehouse worthy. This is a legit barbecue quality, has a strong flavor balance, layered seasoning, as well as just a serious smoker performance. And last but not least is level 5. It is competition ready. It is an elite tier product, worthy of barbecue competitions and serious pitmasters. Okay, let's see where I fall on rating the sauce. Right on the bottle says the sauce is the boss. Well, it's definitely got the boss of the market share, right? It's the boss in your grocery store shelves because it's pretty much everywhere, all right? It might be even something that's sitting in your refrigerator at home based on consumer research, right? A lot of people are buying it. For this sauce, I will tell you, it is definitely a solid backyard barbecue sauce, for sure, all right? Especially if you're entertaining, grab and go, something inexpensive at that $2.99 a bottle. They even make larger bottles and tub sizes, containers of those as well. So definitely value-wise, worth it, all right? So for backyard barbecuers, all right, especially just kind of your Sunday warriors in the backyard, kind of just have a little fun with the family and friends, definitely a great go-to sauce if you're not making your own sauce. I would even say it's probably a good go-to sauce to grab and go if you're doing a lot of tailgating with friends, football season or at a concert, whatever it might be. You just want something easy that you can throw back in the cooler when you're done. So I'm going to actually give this sauce a 3.2. I'm going to tip it into the tailgating barbecue category. All right, definitely not a bad sauce at all. It's not a sauce I go to very often because I prefer more of sauces from actual barbecue restaurants when they're creating their own, or I like to make my own. But you cannot go wrong with this one right off your shelf, my friends. So that's our final scoring here on Rubbed in Sauce. Hopefully you guys enjoy this episode. Stay tuned. We're going to try to release at least 1 review a week. We're also going to start coming up with we're going to use some pre-made barbecue sauce and rub recipes from famous barbecue entrepreneurs, all right? So we're gonna build their recipes and even taste test those as well, all right? So stay tuned for more episodes. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We'll see you guys next time on Rubbed and Sauced.